Saber with energy.
Hey guys, what's up? Today let's check out the latest update on Advanced Server.
First up is Saber, and he now uses energy. As you can see, there's a yellow bar below his HP. However, it only works on his first skill. His second and ultimate do not require energy to cast. So his first skill requires 50 energy to use. And to recover that energy, you'll need to use the orbiting swords with your skills or basic attacks. That's 5 points of energy restored for every orbiting sword that you use. And each time it's used, 50% cooldown is reduced from his first and second skill. However, damage on minions does not restore energy. Another adjustment is his second skill. The enhanced basic attack after the dash will now use 2 orbiting swords. This is quite a good buff because you can easily use 3 orbiting swords if you hit the enemy with the dash and follow up with an enhanced basic attack. Now for the not so good news, his ultimate got nerfed. The developers increased its cooldown and lowered the base damage. It's a big nerf if we take a look at the numbers. They said his ultimate poses a great threat to squishy heroes, that's why they had to do this. Overall, these changes make Saber less reliant on his ultimate and more focused on weaving in and out of fights with his dash and orbiting swords. It'll require more skill and timing, but hey, that's what makes it fun, right? However, it can be hard to recover energy when you can't reach an enemy with his basic attacks. No more mindlessly spamming your first skill. At most, you can use it 2 times. After that, you'll have to wait until your energy recovers naturally. Moving on, we have the mana adjustment on Khufra and Bane. Both of them will no longer have mana. So the only limitation to their skills is cooldown. Next is Lancelot, and just like Saber, he's now energy based. His first skill requires 50 energy to cast, while the rest of his skills are free to use. To recover energy, you'll have to dash to an enemy and apply a mark. His first skill also has 0 cooldown, but because of the new energy, it can be hard to spam the skill unless you hit a target. You can check out my earlier video for more tests on this new Lancelot. Moving on, we have Natalia. Now that she no longer uses mana, the developers have placed a timer below her HP bar. If this bar is full, that means your enhanced basic attack is ready to use. This should help players time their enhanced basic attacks. And it can also be used as a timer when becoming invisible upon entering a bush. Neat, right? Once the bar is full, it means you're invisible. Next up is the nerf on Terizla. Looks like going manaless made him a bit too strong. So to keep things in check, they've slapped a 2-second cooldown increase on his first skill. And they also weakened the early game damage of his second skill. Next is the purple buff. With so many physical heroes dishing mana, this jungle buff needed a little makeover. It will now give 50% cooldown reduction instead of 10. But the mana cost reduction will be weaker from 40 down to 30%. Basically, it should slightly benefit heroes without mana. Next are the heroes whose mana stats are adjusted to match the upcoming patch. Sicilian's base mana got an extra 50 points, and his mana growth is also getting a boost, from 109 to now 150 mana per level. Alice will have an improved mana regen per second from 3.6 to now 6, and her mana growth is increased by 50 points per level. Uranus will have lower mana cost on his first and second skill. Novaria will also have lower mana cost on her first and second skill. Additionally, they are lowering her second skill cooldown by 1 second. Based on the patch, they have unified the mana and mana regen for most heroes that are using mana. And some tank and support heroes will have better mana compared before. So this should make things fair for everyone, right? Physical heroes will have no mana and magic heroes had their mana stats improved. Next is the adjustment on Argus. His last week's adjustment proved too strong, so they had to tone it down, starting with his passive. Critical strikes will only give 10 points of Malice energy, and they are removing the ability to ignore defense when activating his passive attacks. I think that's a huge blow to our Argus players. Now you'll be forced to build Malefic Roar for penetration. His second skill will only restore energy if it hits an enemy hero. Minions and jungle creeps do not give energy. Lastly, his ultimate will have a longer cooldown. Perhaps it's best not to raise our expectations too high just yet. It's better to wait a few more weeks to see his final version. Next we have Joy. The interval damage of her ultimate will be shorter to match the music of her second skill. I guess the beats are now in tune with her damage. Next is the adjustment on Nolan's new heal. It's now weaker compared to last week. But does he really need that heal? Next, we have the optimization of the move and attack feature. Mia, Bruno, Sun-shin, Carrie, 1-1, Popol, Beatrix, Nathan, and Melissa. These heroes can now start moving more quickly after each basic attack interval. Last one is the nerf on Glowing One. The developer said this item has become too versatile. To balance, they had to lower its burn damage from 1.5 down to 1% of the target's max HP. And that's it for our weekly advanced server update. What can you say about the new Saber? Is it now more fair for mana-dependent heroes? Share your thoughts in the comment section. That's all for this video. Stay safe and thank you for watching.